Inside 50 days to the 2025 Kentucky Derby, and we did have some developing news on Monday. It was Owen Almighty going to be joining the Kentucky Derby Trail. He may go to the Bluegrass, and then Cornucopian, a late nomination for the Arkansas Derby. He worked out on Monday with Barnes. We also saw a workout from the Breeders' Cup juvenile champion, Citizen Bull. But let's get you up to date on the latest Kentucky Derby news. We'll also look back at American Promise, his win in the Virginia Derby, some speed figures comparing Beyer to Brisnet as we look back at some of the 50-point races. Also, 8 races left on the Kentucky Derby Trail. We'll take a look at some runners running this weekend in the Louisiana Derby and the Fairgrounds Oaks. But let's start it off with Cornucopian. He turned some heads. He ran the fastest 6-furlong race for a maiden horse at Oaklawn Park earlier this meet. He has been late nominated to the Arkansas Derby, and let's go look at that maiden win. He is the 7 horse. He was bet down to 1-5 that day. He broke fast, kind of a headstrong horse, took the lead out of the gate, then kind of eased up going into the turn, and then really flew home late in that final quarter, coming home in under 24 seconds. And Cornucopian, he's by Into Mischief. He has just the one lifetime race. He did work out 6 furlongs on Monday in company with Barnes. He was the inside of the workmate of the 2, and that was a 6-furlong workout. So we may see him in the Arkansas Derby. We may see Barnes. We're not quite sure, but the Bob Baffert horses did work out on Monday. Meanwhile, let's take a look back at that Virginia Derby victory for American Promise. Of course, Colonial Downs, D. Wayne Lucas. This is a big horse, 17 hands, starting to fill out that frame. Look at the muscles there, really seem to be on the muscle in the post-race victory bath for American Promise. Now, he picked up 50 points in that victory. He's now got 55 points, and he has picked up also a 95 Beyer speed figure, setting that new course record at Colonial Downs. Of course, they don't run a lot of dirt races and 1 1/8 races at Colonial Downs. Now, American Promise, let's take a look at his past performances, some things that may have pointed out to that victory, and maybe he's slowly improving. Taking a look back, he did face Chancellor McPatrick in his debut race. Of course, Chancellor McPatrick, a 2-time Grade 1 winner. Then you've got, he also went up against Filoso in his second lifetime start, so he's faced good horses. He picked up a victory at Oaklawn Park. One of the things you should note, in the Southwest Stakes, he was kind of knocked into the rail, had to knock against a horse, but he was a front runner on a day when closers did well. So American Promise kind of win against the track bias. He's by Justify out of a Tappet mare, so he could still be getting better, and he's going to train up to the Kentucky Derby. Now, Owen Almighty, looks like they're going to point to the Kentucky Derby. He was a little bit of an upset winner at the Tampa Bay Derby, and you see him running back here to the winner's circle. He looked good. Slowed down the fractions. The pace was kind of slow. A couple of other horses were more stretch runners in that Tampa Bay Derby. Now, will he get a new jockey? Irad Ortiz rode him in the Tampa Bay Derby, but Irad Ortiz also rode Cornucopian in that maiden win at Arkansas on the Arkansas Derby undercard in the Rebel Day that day for Cornucopian. So Irad Ortiz, he's going to get a choice of some horses here in these final mounts, but Owen Almighty could be going to the Bluegrass as his final start before the Kentucky Derby. Now, the Florida Derby may have picked up a runner. It looks like Ford Steele. He's been running on the turf at Gulfstream Park. Looks like he could be pointing for the Florida Derby. Could have as many as 7 to 8 horses. Of course, the favorite right now for that Florida Derby looks like it's going to be Sovereignty after winning the Fountain of Youth Stakes last out. Now, let's take a look at some of the recent winners in the 50-point preps. We did have Journalism. He got a 104 on the Brisnet scale, a 108 on the Beyer scale. So Beyer said that Journalism had the best prep race of all in those 50-point preps. We had Flood Zone with a 101 on the Brisnet, a little bit less on the Beyer scale. Now, Flood Zone is going to be going to the UAE Derby next. Burnham Square, Beyer ranked that as a 90 in the Holy Bull, but a 101 on the Brisnet scale. Of course, Burnham Square also broke his maiden at Gulfstream Park with a big effort. And then Captain Cook was better on the Brisnet scale than the Beyer scale, 100 to 94. Sovereignty, a 95 Beyer, but a 99 on the Brisnet scale. So depending on which of the speed figures you're looking at, we're also going to be looking at some of the Ragozin figures and the Thorograph figures as we get closer to the Derby. American Promise got a 95 on the Beyer scale. We're still waiting for that Brisnet number for American Promise. Just some of the speed figures. Journalism with a 108 Beyer and a 104 Brisnet to lead the way through the 50-point preps. Now, the Louisiana Derby's been drawn. The morning line favorite is John Hancock. Built, Vasimo, and Instant Replay also going to be getting some action in that race. Now, John Hancock, he won the Sam F. Davis. He beat Owen Almighty in that last race. Of course, they had a stretch-long duel with John Hancock in only a second lifetime start, picking up that stakes win. He's the morning line favorite for the Louisiana Derby. Now, the Louisiana Oaks, looks like Good Cheer is going to be the favorite in that race. Let's go back to her Rags to Riches victory with Good Cheer winning that race. Of course, she also won the Rachel Alexandra in her last start. She's 5 for 5, and Good Cheer closed as the Kentucky Oaks future wager favorite this past weekend. So Good Cheer going to be down at the fairgrounds on Saturday. Now, the Jeff Ruby Stakes post positions have been drawn. Calling card out of post position number 1. Innovator for Coach D. Wayne Lucas, number 8. Poster could be the favorite. He's going to go out of post position number 9, but did want to bring up California Burrito. Of course, he won the John Battaglia Stakes. He is entered in that Jeff Ruby Stakes on Saturday. A big field. They do have 13 horses entered. We do have an also eligible in Candytown for that Jeff Ruby Stakes. Now, the Kentucky Derby leaderboard still led by Cole Battle. He's got 70 points. Owen Almighty was 65. Citizen Bull, he's going to go in the Santa Anita Derby. Then you've got Sovereignty. He's going to go to the Florida Derby. And American Promise. He's the first horse training up to the Kentucky Derby with 55 points. Flood Zone is going to be in the UAE Derby. And then Journalism is going to point for the Santa Anita Derby. Now, other horses pointing for their next engagement. Simply Joking, the Silver Bullet Day winner. Let's take you back to that race. She did not enter the race at the fairgrounds this Saturday. She is going to point to the Fantasy Stakes at Oaklawn Park. Of course, Simply Joking with that victory in the Silver Bullet Day. She's got the same trainer as Her Laugh, who is going to point to the Fairgrounds Oaks on Saturday. Now, the Oaks leaderboard, you've got Quiet Side with 68 points. She's going to go to the Fantasy Stakes. Drexel Hill with 57. We've got Lacara with 52, Fondly, the winner of the Virginia Oaks, with 50, and then Good Cheer with 45. The Queen's MG, the winner of the Devona Dale, she is going to go to the Gulfstream Park Oaks. She's got 43 and a half points on that Oaks trail, but a lot of the Oaks races coming up. We've got the Gulfstream Park Oaks, we've got the Fantasy, we've got the Ashland, and we've got the Fairgrounds Oaks. Now, the Bluegrass looks like we could have East Avenue, Chancer McPatrick, and Owen Almighty as some of the headliners. Burnham Square also in that one. The Woods going to have Statesman, Hill Road, and Garamond, a couple of Chad Brown runners. And we continue on with the points races. The Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, and the Santa Anita Derby are all coming up on April 5th, along with the UAE Derby. And the Triple Crown Prospectus, we write about the Triple Crown all the way through the Belmont Stakes. Sign up below in the description. Comes out every Monday. It's free, 2,000 words. And we rank the top contenders, look at some of the trip notes in the prep races. What do you think about Cornucopian? Leave a comment. Do you think he should go to the Arkansas Derby? What do you think about his 101 Beyer speed figure? Like, comment, share, and support the channel as we lead you up to the Kentucky Derby 2025. And remember, D. Wayne Lucas always says, people have opinions, horses have the facts.